Good morning. Where have you been? You're late for assembly. Even Scooby's here wondering what's going on. Look at the hall. It's empty. Oh my goodness. Where is everyone? You didn't tell me you weren't coming in. Oh, we'll be back. We will be back. But I thought today I'd spend a little bit of time talking about how we're feeling not being at school. One of the things I'm really missing is being able to play football. Hands up if you're missing being able to play football. Loads of you. Yeah, I know. Let's go on the playground. It's a beautiful day out there. Come on. Goal! So I do miss football. I miss playing football. I miss being able to listen to it on the radio, watch it on the TV, go and see the games themselves. But it's the same for everybody, isn't it? Nobody's able to do any of those things at the moment. And it's probably not football that you're missing. Lots of you are probably missing a chance to see your friends or play in the park or go to a sleepover or have friends over for tea, have a play date, those sorts of things. And I get all of that. So I thought this morning we ought to think a little bit about how we're feeling. How are you feeling? Just take a moment to think about it. Usually when someone says, "How are you?" I just say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." And I don't think about it. But at the moment, perhaps I do a little bit more. And when I think about how I'm feeling, I realise that actually it changes quite a lot. I don't necessarily feel the same today as I felt yesterday or the day before, and I might well feel completely different tomorrow. It's very easy when it's nice and sunny and I'm out here on the playground, there's nobody about, there's just the sound of birds singing, it's really quiet, to think, wow, what a fantastic day. But then I think about all the things that I would like to be doing that I can't be doing at the moment, and I'm not quite so sure. So how are you feeling? Are you happy? Sad? Anxious? Frightened? Lonely? Bored? Probably you're feeling some of those things, and that's fine. It's okay to feel those things. Whatever you're feeling is okay. It's what you do about it that really matters. And I want to think a little bit this morning about what you do when you're feeling some of those feelings that you don't want to be feeling. We all feel things that we don't like to feel from time to time. Perhaps you've got the pressure of a big event coming up. Maybe you play for a football team, or maybe you've got a test at the weekend in something that you do, perhaps a ballet exam or something like that. And you're feeling anxious about it. In some ways that feeling is good because it helps you be really focused and tuned in, but it eats away at you, doesn't it? It's a horrible nagging feeling, and maybe you don't feel like your food. So what do you do when you feel like that? You know, it's a bit difficult to know how you feel, and you don't like how you're feeling and you want to deal with it. So what do you do in that situation? What about another situation where maybe you've got to take part in some kind of competition, perhaps a gym competition or a swimming gala like we have at school? Maybe you're going to take part in one of those and you're going to be representing your team, and you're anxious about that. You don't want to let anybody down. That's a difficult situation, isn't it? Or maybe it's just a normal school day, but you know that you're going to be doing something that you're going to find difficult. Maybe it's Fractions Friday, and fractions terrify you. Fractions used to really scare me, and I didn't like going to school when we were learning about fractions. Fractions, not good. Or maybe you're worried about something at home. Maybe you're not enjoying being in the lockdown with all of your, I don't know, brothers and sisters around you, or maybe it's just difficult sometimes being at home with, even though they're people that you love, maybe there's something difficult at home. Maybe you're worried about mum and dad. Maybe somebody's not well. Maybe you're not well. Or maybe mum and dad may be frightened about losing a job or something like that, or you're worried that they might lose their job. Those things are really, really, really frightening sometimes, and I get that. but it's what we do about those things that's really, really important. When we feel like that, the pressure builds up, like on this can, and it has to go somewhere. We feel really, really wound up inside. We feel helpless. We feel like we just want to explode. And that's not a good feeling. This could happen. Oh, disaster. I was going to drink that. The thing is, we need to find a way to deal with all of that pressure before we end up like this. How do you cope when you're feeling like that? What do you do to get rid of that pressure? I've got some ideas, things that I can do. Sometimes I talk to somebody. It's not always easy, but if you can find somebody to go to and say, do you know what? I feel really worried, or I feel sad, or I'm scared. Actually, sharing that problem makes it easier. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. So why not go to somebody, perhaps somebody in your house, or even somebody who you talk to on your phone, or on an email, or something like that, on a message, and just tell them how you're feeling. They'll probably say they feel the same, or they know how you feel. They might give you some ideas, but there's a saying that says a problem shared is a problem halved, and if you can share that problem with somebody, then that's a really good start. Something else I do is take time out. Go and do something different. I know in my job, and I'm sure it's the same for you at school, that sometimes you can spend ages racking your brain over something that seems like a really big problem on paper, and if you actually stop and go and do something else, 10, 15 minutes, something completely different, and come back to it, you find a way of doing it. In fact, sometimes just by taking a break, you think of how you can solve that problem in the time that you're away. So take time out. Go and do something different. Go for a run round the garden. Go and play some music. Go and watch a bit of television or something like that. Just go and do something different. But a great thing is to get some exercise. We can still exercise even if we have to stay indoors. But if you can go out, get a walk or go for a run about in the park, any of those things, get some exercise, that's really, really good for you, because what it does, it reduces some magical little things in our brains called endorphins, and they make us feel good. So the more endorphins you get, the better you're going to be feeling. So get some exercise. It's not just good for you, but it's good for your brain as well. Another thing is sometimes I have to say to myself, well, actually, I can't do any better. I'm worried about it, but I am doing my best, and that's enough. Yes, we all want to do really, really well, but sometimes we ask too much of ourselves. You know, you saw me playing football at the beginning. I'd love to score the winning goal in a cup final for Arsenal, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. But I can do my best and I can still enjoy my football. Okay, it doesn't matter if I won't ever score the winning goal for Arsenal, because that's pretty unlikely, but I can do my best and I can still enjoy my football. Another thing you might like to do is get some help from somebody who cares for you. We won't always be in this situation, and I said in the beginning that a problem shared is a problem halved, but it doesn't have to be somebody in your family who you talk to. It may be somebody in school when we're back to normal, because we won't always be in this situation. You could talk to a teacher or a learning support assistant or another adult, someone who cares for you, because they will understand and they can support you too. We all have times when we feel like that can of fizzy drink, all bubbled up inside and wanting to burst out. And it's how we deal with that that really matters. So next time I want you to think about what you can do about how you're feeling. Is it that you want to tell somebody about it and share that problem? Is it that you need to take some time out? Do you need to just remind yourself that you've done your best and that's the best you can do, and be happy with that, genuinely? Or do you need to get some help? Do you need to talk to somebody, another adult who cares for you, who will understand and can support you to help you deal with how you're feeling? There's a saying in the Bible that says, anxiety weighs down the heart, but a good word makes it glad. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a good word makes it glad. So, feeling anxious, scared, worried, makes our hearts heavy, a horrible feeling. But a good word, something that's kind, said by somebody else, makes our heart glad. And I think that's a really good phrase to remember. Helps us to stay positive, helps us to look forward. And it says, like I said at the beginning, about a problem being shared is a problem halved. It lightens that load by sharing a good word. So even if you're feeling fantastic today, and I hope you are, you may be able to look around the people who are with you and realise that some of them aren't. How about sharing a good word with them and cheering them up, telling them how much you love them or how much you care, or offering to do something to help them? Or maybe just doing something that you know needs doing without waiting to be asked to do it. That will help make people feel better as well.